This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
All right, everyone. Hope you're all doing fantastic. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. It's free. Now, Anthony Joshua has done a bit of a Q&A, and I'll put it in the description box for you guys. But one of them really stood out for me, which was a question that a lot of people said. What happens if Anthony Joshua ends up losing again? Is it career over? People do like to go to the extremes, okay? But we're going to talk about all that after we hear Anthony Joshua's response to what happens if you lose to Ruiz Jr. again. This is what Anthony Joshua had to say. Yeah, if you know me from the amateurs, when I lost certain fights, I just get back up. I keep on going. So if I lose again, let's say I lost my next 10 fights. Maybe the next 10 fighters weren't meant for me, but on the 11th one, might be. In my eyes, as long as I'm consistent, I will prevail. I will get to where I want to go. So that is Anthony Joshua's statement. Now, I've spoke about this before, and some people thought I was a little bit mad for thinking it, but pretty much with his statement is pretty much confirms what it is that I've been saying. You see, if you notice, every time Anthony Joshua has a fight, he doesn't really like to talk too much about the fight he's just had. Likewise, he doesn't really like to talk about who he could potentially be fighting next. That's not really his thing. His is in the moment right now. He said it before when a lot of people were comparing him to some of the greats of the past, like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, etc., etc. And Anthony Joshua says, listen, for me personally, what I would do is wait for my career to be finished and then compare me. Maybe I can be compared with some of these guys, or maybe I can't. Okay, ultimately, no point doing it right now. He's only had just over 20 fights. What's the point? Okay, let's wait for his career to be finished. Now, again, we do know that when Anthony Joshua lost to Ruiz Jr., a lot of his fan base was like, no, that's it, I'm done with boxing now. I can't believe that he lost to that guy, and they ran off crying. Okay, but lots of me and many of you guys listening right now, we will stick with our fighters, win, lose, or draw. Okay, of course, we want to see Anthony Joshua keep on winning. We want to see him regain his belts and go on to become undisputed, etc., 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 okay? And we will support him. Even if he loses against Andy Ruiz Jr. again, we will still support him. Now, he did talk about losing 10 fights in a row here, but let's kind of hope that don't happen. I think if he loses 10 fights in a row, I think it's time to call it a day, honestly, right? But as always, and for me and many of you guys, we support Dillian Whyte as well. Okay, we support Tyson Fury. So if these guys take a loss, we're still going to support them, okay? And that's how it should be as a boxing fan, okay? We support our guys no matter what they go through, the highs and the lows, all right? Not all boxing fans are like that. Even a lot of Joshua fans just jump ship. Suddenly now they're Wilder fans or they're Fury fans or whatever it may be. But for me, I don't understand the whole mentality of if you're a Joshua fan, then you should hate Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury. If you're a Tyson Fury fan, especially these guys, you have to hate Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua. I don't get that whole mentality. What's wrong with liking all three of them? And then if either of these guys fight each other, pick a horse in the race on fight night, right? But anyway, all that aside, the fact is that the point that I was meant to make before I started babbling on there was the fact that every time Anthony Joshua has a fight, as I said, he didn't really talk about what happened, he didn't really talk about what's next. It's about progression to him. It's just another way to get to where he wants to be. And taking a loss is still another place of where he wants to be. So a win, a loss, or a draw isn't going to hold him back. It may temporarily stall him, but ultimately it's going to give him the mindset of, right, so what I was hoping to be changing over the next couple of fights or over the next year or so, I need to be addressing right now. Okay, so it just puts new training regimes, learning new tricks of the trade, if you like. That's what it does. It's all about progression for him. A loss, listen, I'm sure it bothers him. Of course it does. He's still a human being. He may be an Adonis of a man, if you like, with a body that most of us would wish, except me, of course. You know what I mean? I think Joshua would wish to have my body, just saying. But I think that Anthony Joshua, he just views it as there's an A, a B, and a C, okay? And right now, he's already passed the A, so he's turned professional and he's become a world champion. The B will be to get to the C. The C will be the tail end of his career. So he's still in the B section right now, okay? Where everything now is about learning. Because let's not forget, he only had 43 amateur fights, okay? When you want to compare it, because a lot of Wilder fans, they'll say, but Deontay Wilder, he had a very, very short amateur career. Yeah, he did. He only had 35 fights. So Joshua only had 8 fights more than Deontay Wilder. He come into the pro game and is on 20 fights less than Wilder and has achieved a hell of a lot more. So even if Anthony Joshua was to retire right now, there's a very good chance he could be entering the Hall of Fame. Certainly from a British standpoint. But he's nowhere near finished yet. And a loss to Andy Ruiz Jr. next, listen, it ain't going to be good, but it ain't going to make him go, right, that's it, I'm retiring, I'm quit. Again, I'm sure a lot of fans will go, that's it, I've had enough now, and probably walk away from boxing. This is more a reflection on those who do that, right? Rather than just keep on supporting and whatever else. Because ultimately, I believe no matter what happens, it will all come good in the end. He will be an undisputed champion one day. As I believe that Tyson Fury will be one day as well, and Dillian White. These guys will fight each other. They'll probably win some, lose some, all that kind of thing. But ultimately, we can only decide what's going to happen or how we judge these guys when the career is finished. Right now, we're still in the transition of where they're going to be. Maybe Anthony Joshua is going to end up getting wiped out by Ruiz and wiped out by several others after. We don't know. We just don't know. But let's hope not. Let's hope he becomes a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, which I believe that he will. But anyway, listen, that's Anthony Joshua's thoughts on it. Of course, you drop me yours. Do you agree with him that a loss shouldn't hold you back? And of course, would you still support him if he lost to Ruiz Jr.? As much it will probably annoy you, right? But anyway, article in the description box. Go give it a read if you like. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.